All the Board of Sewer Commissioners, all Board of Sewer Commissioners in order, and we'll go with the agenda approval of the minutes, mail, chief operators report, April and June, wastewater treatment facility O&M year-end budget adjustments.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of the minutes of 3/24/16.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Go on.
for it.
I didn't, I missed
Here.
it. Go on.
It's just Jason and Nelson, you can't present nothing, you weren't here.
Nelson
I love
was
being
here,
able to
Jason
tell you
was
something.
on.
Three of us are here, so we got,
You're good.
you got 3 ayes and 2 abstentions. Took care of those.
Okay, so, got the mail,
No
what
mail.
do we got for mail?
No
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 mail.
mail today.
All right, well, chief operations report,
Okay.
up to you, Darcy.
We received a new sewer allocation application for new construction on North Pownal Road yesterday afternoon. It will require digging a trench across the road to connect to a stub that was left. Pretty straightforward. We're gonna locate that stub via TV and camera next week, so we'll know exactly where it is. It's a 75-foot gravity run. The main line's 8 foot deep. So really cut straight. It's very, very easy.
Bottom of the hill.
Bottom of North Pownal Road. Yep.
So I have a question then.
Sure.
So who's gonna excavate across our road?
Okay, it's gonna be the construction company.
Which is-
It'll be Dickie Bizon. And he's done across road construction for our sewer connections before. He does a great job putting everything back. He has his specs included in his plan, but with the permit itself, I'm actually including our sanitary sewer specs. And a couple of years ago, I asked Casey to put it in writing. If there was a trench across the paved town highway, what are the exact specs and expectations for it to be returned to the way it was? And he did a really comprehensive write-up, so that's also going to be included with the permit.
And they have how many days to blacktop it after they?
I don't know if Casey put that
Because
in
to
there.
me, that's gonna be an issue, a maintenance issue if we leave the gravel ditch there.
I wouldn't suspect it's going to be a problem. It's going to be done this summer. This is not going to be like a December construction where we can't pave until April. So I'm sure that will be moved right along. Dickie's been doing this for 30 years. He always does a good job. So I have confidence in. But I will make sure to relay that. Or I can even add that the pavement must be laid. What would be the reasonable time frame for that? Within a week after construction or?
Well, I think just I think you should have a date on when you want it finished by.
And-
The project finished by, leave it at that, I don't know what.
And somebody has to be responsible for the ditch after they're done backfilling the gravel. I mean, if it rains, it's gonna wash out,
Mhm.
becomes a hazard.
Right.
I mean, the road should be signed accordingly
Right.
if we're gonna leave it.
Yep,
gravel.
he has to actually get a permit to work in the highway right away through the zoning administrators. So that's what Casey wrote on his email.
I've never given a permit for somebody to work on the road.
Okay, I'll just read this to you. So closing the town highway must be posted in the local paper and where the work will be performed, the time and the date, 1 week in advance. Pavement must be sawed clean for a clean edge to pave to and widen the trench. Subsoil shall be reused if possible so it can freeze at the same rate as the surrounding soil. Subsoil shall be compacted in 6-inch lifts to prevent or minimize settling in a surface, and all shoulder work shall be seeded and mulched to prevent erosion. Pavement shall be a minimum of 4-inch, and then it gives a mix of hot mix and another kind of hot mix, and laid to the existing paved surface.
And the permit I'll be giving is for the house. Is what I do, I don't give the sewer
No.
permit. You do
Right.
that, the highway really,
The highway would cover the highway part of it. but-
Whoever's in charge of the highway,
Right. Would
saying
have
it
to
right now
follow.
with that one.
Okay.
But I will
We'll
rate
make
in
sure
here that
they-
the expectation is that the paving is
He
done.
would be responsible for all signage.
Yeah.
what's the normal time for someone come back and pave a road. Usually you let it compact, you know, you pack in it, there's a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah, see, I'm not a
It
road person,
depends.
so that's why I'm asking
It
that
depends
question.
how deep they're digging, number one,
8 feet.
It'll be 8 feet at the stub, yeah.
so. And my concern, to be honest with you, I mean, you can go over on South Stream Road and look at a ditch over there they did, it's never been right. I don't want to mention the name, but there's a job they did over there. We allowed someone to do this. In the ditch for years, we've been repairing it, it's never been right ever since.
Never was compacted right.
Well,
Yeah, that's what it
speaking,
was.
speaking with Casey and a lot of, I've heard him a lot speak about these occasions, and I think his biggest contention was when they do dig a ditch, sometimes they take away the material. He said that's sort of the worst thing you can do. If you take the material out, put the material back in so that it's the same as the
Compaction,
surrounding
I guess, is the most
surface.
important.
Yeah, because
And it depends if it's clay.
But I can tell you, at 8 feet deep, there's gonna be an issue with that road settling. I don't care if you wait 2 weeks and then blacktop, it's still gonna be an issue down the line, guaranteed.
I'm not sure what to do, I'd say about that. I'm not like, that's not my road.
And I think we need to look into it, like get a spec from the state and see what they do as far as their road goes and see how that whole responsibility thing goes. Because a ditch that deep, they're gonna blacktop it, and in 6 months, it's gonna be settling, you're gonna have a bump there, and you're gonna have, it's never gonna be right.
Would that be something the highway should look into?
Well,
I'm not sure.
Well, it's setting a standard I would look at. I think what you need to do is to somehow hold someone to a guarantee for 6 months, or whatever you think the compaction time would be. I would assume over 6 months, with all the traffic that's on that road, that's gonna be pretty well compact. So the thing is that they put it in, if they compact it right and blacktop it, you don't have anything to worry about. But if you have a 6-month guarantee that if it should drop, they have to put the blacktop on it.
Can I see if we can get some information from AOT?
Yeah. that's
See, because
fine.
even at 8 feet deep, even if you have the best compaction, you're still gonna have settling.
Okay, so can we, because we're not gonna meet again until August, I don't wanna hold him up on the other permits he needs to get. Can we approve this permit with the condition that the AOT specifications be included and adhered to when available?
Right, now the other option too is boring a sleeve underneath the road,
Yeah.
not digging up the blacktop at all.
Thought about that, but we are gonna connect to that stuff. We're not just putting a saddle on, so we can't just bore to the line and go, okay, we're gonna saddle it right here. Really wanna find that
Or
stuff.
above it.
It's a lot more expensive to put a
Is the
saddle on.
Is the
For the
line,
homeowner.
is the line, original line not in the road anyways? On
Right.
the other side? So
Right.
you're gonna dig up part of the road no matter what you do?
Yes. It's right on the edge of the road, so I think that's going to be inevitable.
Yeah, you're gonna have to hit part of the road just to get there big enough to work on it.
And do the signage and everything else.
I'll make a
We're
motion.
kind
that-
of against boring here, because,
They are?
yes, we are.
Why is that?
Because Forrester and Eldridge, the people who designed this thing, I asked them a long time ago, I said, well, how come we ain't going across the road? You can't guarantee the integrity. You don't know if it's going up or down. You're blowing a hole through there, you're pushing it through. Where they only went through a couple of places, and that's why they did it. They went down the side of the road, they put a big one in up there by the church, that's why it's done. He explained it to me, and I think it made sense, it was logical. Because when you're boring, how do you know where that's going? It's all right for a wire, you don't put a wire across, but as far as sewer,
But
you're supposed to have-
even, but again, if you do an 8-foot ditch run, even if you do the best compaction you can, it's gonna be 95%. 96%, you're still gonna have,
Well, that's what they do up in Bennington, they compact it and then they blacktop it. I've been on a couple sewer jobs.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, what's gonna happen 6 months down the line when it
Who could
settles?
ever know, but I'm assuming that road, this highway down here is a pretty solid material. That's pretty good material. It isn't, and it isn't on clay. That's a good solid base down through there. It's the same with 346. That's a tremendous base. That's all limestone from the quarries. That's how they built the roads down here then. And I'm pretty sure that if that was compact, and let it set. I ain't in a hurry to put blacktop on it. Let it set
That's right.
through most of the summer. Then, put your finish
Put the
blacktop.
finish on in November or something, towards, before.
Okay.
But
But then every time it rains and it washes out, are we gonna be responsible for the ditch, or are we gonna have to call Dickie every time it rains?
Well, I'll tell you what, the water doesn't, the ditch is going across there. I doubt, I'm sure he's gonna hump it up a little. That's what they usually do. And I mean, most all the water when it comes down off Lime Kill Hill runs down on the other side of it. That's all I know. I mean, look, we can critique
No.
this thing to death.
That's
But
right.
are we gonna be able to do anything with it, or are we just gonna argue?
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve it with the addition of the AOT specs for coverage on a crossing of a road. And you'll get those specs.
Get those through, yes.
I think all it's gonna be the
If
same.
you could email them to me,
Sure.
and then I can
I
put,
assume-
and get him the packet in his letters.
I assume that's where Casey got his.
Well, yeah, but I
Okay.
think, yeah, okay. I think that should cover it, but I think the most important part about digging anywhere is you wanna dig it, if you wanna get this job done as early as you can. That'll give you, summertime or summer months or days to compact by itself,
Right.
okay?
Makes
And,
sense.
you can't do it in the fall, I mean, so the quicker the better.
And you
So
started
I'm seconding
This
that.
summer.
Okay,
No, probably sooner.
so-
As soon as he can.
So
He's
I,
ready to do
so
it
I
tomorrow.
should, I should amend my motion to say that it shouldn't be blacktop until November. Because you're right, give
Well,
it time to settle.
Well, give it time, but the
Toward
quicker
the
they
end
get
of
it.
this, end of the blacktop season.
Yeah.
The end of the blacktop, that's right,
That's
that's fine.
So the
fine,
motion
that's
will be
perfect.
to approve the permit with the condition that the AOT standards are made part of the permit, and the blacktopping doesn't occur to the end of the blacktop
Yeah.
season.
Season, correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
To give it time to contact.
Okay.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And get it.
Moving along.
Put your damn
Yeah.
bucks on there.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure the man that's doing it there knows what he's doing.
And there's something else for you to sign right off the bat. It's just a document. You've already made the change in the actual fee for the sewer charge when we did the budget, but this is the actual document that's part of our ordinance packet that states what the fee is. So if someone were to ask, this is the document that we have in place.
Okay.
So it's just a change of this document.
Okay, so the fees are changing from what to what? Just,
They went, right, they went from 456 to 468.
I move that we approve and sign.
So moved.
Aye.
Yes. All in favor, say
Aye.
aye.
The VLCT insurance
Borrow my pen, Rob?
inspector
Yeah, sure, you can give me crap over the
performed his hazard identification survey back in May. He toured the facility and he toured one of each of the styles of pump stations that we have. We have 3 different styles. He found nothing major to correct. All the items that he did find were classified as low priority, but of course I wanted to address them as soon as possible. So I actually had all but 2 of them done before he even got his water. Just go through them quickly. I made a packet for our records, just for documentation, saying that everything's been done. Propane gas wanted to move outside and put in enclosure, so we did that. Propane's in there. For some reason, when the contractors installed the outlets over the wash basin in the workroom, they didn't put in GFI outlets. Interesting. So yeah, he found that and we installed the GFI outlets.
Good.
The previous program, material safety data sheets, is now just safety data sheets. And there's a new program in place called the Globally Harmonized System, the GHS system, Hazard Communication Plan. So he provided me with a template for that, and then I tailored that template to us. So now we actually have that program in place. All our safety data sheets are alphabetized on the front, so we're all good there. Again, the boilers, apparently, back when the plant was built, were supposed to be inspected and tagged by the state, and then inspected by the state on a regular basis. It's a free service, and that wasn't done. And I guess the boiler guy at the state level had actually left the job, but didn't tell anybody at the time. So there was like a vacancy right when we were done building. So he came over, he tagged them, and he only found one issue. The pressure relief valves they had installed were rated for 60 PSI, and the boilers are rated for 50. So we had to change out the 60 PSI pressure relief valves with 50s, and that's done. He noted that the wage posters, because they were put up a while ago, probably out of date, so I bought the wage posters and employee information posters, put those up. We had the boiler room door propped open because it's hot in there. I guess that wasn't good because it's a fire door, so now it's shut. And also the confined spaces. He was good with the program. He went through all of my safety manuals and inspected all of them like that. He thought there should be locks and confined space notices on the grinder stations. I don't think he understood that the access to the grinder station is a manhole. So you really can't block that, and it does say sewer on it. He said ultimately, if you have manholes identified in your confined space program, that then covers you. And I did. I looked it up, and it was definitely there. I knew it was there, but I just wanted to make sure. I took a picture of it. And let's see, lastly, he just wanted us to mark the edge of the sludge holding tank. It's not required. It's not high enough to require railings, but he said just for safety's sake. So we went ahead and did that. So there's the packet. I don't know if anyone wants to look through it, but there's that. I've been working with Alan on the annual budget adjustments, which we do every June. They're important because we use these adjustments to help draft and set future budgets, and we'll talk about that after my report. We had a great positive response to our new signage. I'm sure you all noticed pulling in. We had "Please stay off the lawn," "No guns," "No vehicles beyond this point" in the lower parking lot. It's been great. Everyone's parking in the lower area and it's stopping, so all that natural vegetation is growing back up, which was EPA's intention. No vehicles that tore up the front lawn. The foilers that do come down are very respectful. No more gun practice. No more garbage has been dumped. A state official was down this week and actually came over to the plant and said, "Did you put those signs up?" "Yes, we did." And he's like, "Thank you. Yeah, everything looks good. It's looking so much better now." So I guess it was like we discussed at the last meeting. I think people just didn't know. They just assumed there's no signs, so we can just do whatever we want. And they've been very respectful to the signage, so I'm really happy about that. We also erected a gate to the exterior of the fence line. We cleaned, as you can see, that fence line out on a regular basis for security purposes. We were climbing over the fence with a ladder on the outside. Yeah, it just wasn't safe, so we put a gate. So now we walk through the gate and cleaning equipment. It's much easier. The plant experienced a power outage this Monday. Really interesting twist. The transfer switch didn't transfer over the emergency power. Some of the lights worked and some things worked, but it was the strangest thing. So of course I called Kinsley right away. But within a half hour, the power came back on. Thank goodness. So no plant processes or equipment was affected in that short period of time. I had him come in anyway, and I said, "I really want you to do that generator a thorough check because it's running, and the transfer switch is not seeing the power." So he opened the high power, skull and crossbones, don't go in here panel, mouse. Another mouse.
Across.
Made a huge mess and bit through 2 of the voltage lines. So what's happening, he was reading the voltage and was only getting 416, and the transfer switch was waiting for 480. So it didn't see the power it needed to actually transfer over. So he was a great tech. He fixed it on site. We powered down, switched over perfect. So yeah, and we bait and we poison and we check that every week and backing it out. But boy, he got in that panel that we just can't touch. So the tech guy, I said, put that on your list. I want that panel opened up every 6 months when you come. But he could have done that a month ago.
Could have done it in one
Those
day.
buggers,
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Could have tried and stayed.
That was not fun. Got through it though. We completed the spring inspections of the grinder stations and cleaned the sludge layers off the wet balls at PV3 and MV4.
Let me take that back.
Sure.
Would that have been tested under your normal running? Would you have found that, how you run to see if it works?
It does a not under load run every week, just to run. The only way you find that out is if you were trying to run it under load. And that switch was looking for that power. But we have enough power outages. I mean,
Well, I'm
We
just
have quite a
wondering,
few,
There's a
so.
time delay there too, I believe.
Yeah,
yeah, see, I always run mine at work under load.
Yeah.
I do it every Monday for a half hour. That's why I was wondering if you did the full
We
load.
had a problem once already with this, right?
transfer switch.
Yes,
Yeah, to follow up on that, he's gonna write up his report, actually, I'm glad you went back there. He's gonna follow up his report saying there was mouse damage. I'm gonna try to run that through the insurance company.
Those
See if
things are
maybe
expensive.
they would cover that. I mean, if they say no, they say no, but it's worth a shot.
Oh, they might.
Yeah, they might.
How much was the repair?
The computer in the transfer station is $6,000.
Yeah, those things are expensive.
And then it'll be the bill for this. Now, I've got it built into the budget on that line item. I've transferred some funds in there on the budget.
That should
Yeah, you'll
I
see
think
that.
it'd be worth, I would think it'd be worth submitting.
Definitely gonna submit it. I just have to wait for all the paperwork to come through.
All of this was caused by the mouse?
Yep, and that's all mouse debris.
Yeah,
You
that's
see
a little
that
crap.
right here?
More than one?
There were two of these that were just totally, I mean, they ate the whole middle piece.
So it just
I guess they liked the red. The blue didn't taste good. The green didn't look good, but the red was, that was good flavor licorice. I don't
I
know.
think that one of the hot wings.
Little buggers?
So did you, when you talked to the guy and you did the work on this, was there any way to sort of make it more, so the mice can't get in it somehow?
He didn't have any recommendation at the time, but he'll be back next month. He'll be doing his July inspections of the pump stations, so I think we'll talk more then about further options. I think what happened, what he thinks happened is that maybe when we did have that open conduit, that's how they were getting into the transfer station, or transfer switch. They never foam sealed, the electrician, the pipes. How would we know? So that's how they were getting up in, and then we thought, that's maybe how they were getting up there too, but we've sealed that since then. So, again, we'll talk to him about other
That's a
options.
mouse.
Nelson.
No,
Yeah.
mouse, that's a mouse net.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
those-
sure there's people
Free
all the
heat.
time.
And no one could get to them. They must think they're smart enough, right? I mean, they knew that's one
But they
place
have
that
to
we
get in
did.
and out to eat, so, yeah, they, well,
Carol worked
So
at
then the
one in her
insurance
car for
company-
a couple weeks now, she
How
got
much
it,
you do?
and then thought she had everything, she got another one the
Yeah.
other day in the car.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's-
I've
that's
had them
not
on top
40
of
years,
range,
so-
parking in the garage. And they go,
She didn't even have a
ooh,
garage, she
they're
was
expensive buffers.
out in the yard.
We paid $60 for our steaks, which
Anyway, the sludge layers were really thick this time.
are much bigger.
And it was only like a month later, the transducer popped out of MP4 because it was so thick again. So we're gonna do those again in August. We're gonna wait till fall. We're just gonna get those done again right away. And Jeff and Carl reinforced the sludge spades. We have these spades that we stick down to the well to break up the sludge so the septic truck can pick it up and bring it away. And they were just bad. We beat them so badly this time. So they took another piece of metal, they welded them on, and reinforced them. So we're ready to go again. We received 3 grinder station alarms over the past few months. GP6 and GP9 required the most amount of work. Both stations had failed pumps, which were replaced. At GP6, once we got the pump in, we turned it on, we looked in the wet well, and it's spraying out the ball check. We pumped it back down, the ball check was cracked. Probably so much pressure. So we replaced that. Got that one up and running. 2 days later, GP9's alarming. That pump's dead. We pulled that one up, replaced that one, it still won't pump. What the heck is going on? Went through all the assessments. What could it be? Finally, is it the ball check here too? Cut it out. Yep, that ball was stuck. Right, the last time it closed, it went beyond the seal and just got stuck right in, and that pump could not push it out. It was stuck. So we replaced that one, and we also, that's a dual station, so we also replaced the other one too. Because we figured if that one went, it's got the same head on it, it's only a matter of time before the other one's gonna fail, and then we're gonna lose another pump.
Where's the locations of these?
North Pownal Road is Pellin's house, the farmhouse, and the house next door. And then it's the feed store on Route 7, is GP9. But that took quite a while. So now we have those valves on the shelf. We're good to go. see, a GP3 alarmed with a high wet well alarm, opened up the wet well and you can see the top of the pump. Okay, what's going on here? And we're counting the floats. There's the starter float, there's the stop, where's the high alarm float? The bracket had broken and the float was in the wet well. So we thought it was a high alarm. So we had to pick it back up, remove the bracket, put it back where it was supposed to be. So that was a cheap fix. Just a couple others. MP3 had a plug check valve. We cleaned that and got the pump back line. And TV1, once again, pump number 1 was running longer, so we pulled it. It was completely plugged again. But this time we reversed the cutters right on site. This time we said, we're just going to flip those cutters over because you get to wear on both sides. That seems to be working pretty good. So
How long do
hopefully-
the cutters normally last?
in that application, a couple of years, and then we have them rebuilt, and then they flip them at that time, the rebuild kit.
So it's a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. And, okay, so, want to get into the truck bid. I promised you last time we were here that I would bring some truck specs for you, which I've done. And started sort of looking at just regular 3/4 1-ton trucks and what they cost on the internet by building them out, and it started around $35,000. And then I said, I've got to check into the crane too, get going on the crane part of it, because that's a really important part of it. And I ended up talking with a gentleman from Stahl, and he's actually a distributor in Vermont, which made me happy. We had a really good conversation about the style of the truck to actually build around the utility box and the crane. They have a great utility box and crane available. Actually, I got a picture on the website. So when I was having my conversation with them, I said, I want that box with that crane. They're working on a rough price quote for that part of it. I asked them if they could work with a local guy and just getting the whole package put together, so we're not driving to Montpelier to have this work done. I called Carbone, talked to the manager there, and he said, yeah, sure, we've done that before, no problem. And he also gave me a rough quote on a cab and chassis. There's 2 ways we could have gone, cab and chassis or box delete. But the cab and chassis is 110 inches from front to back, and the box delete is only 98. So actually get more room with the cab and chassis, and it's just about the same price. So he gave me a rough quote around $32,000 just for a cab and chassis. So then we add on the crane, the box, and the snowplow package, and I think we're going to be way under budget. I think we're going to do pretty good with this new truck. I think it's going to last a long time. The payments will be stabilized. We've got a capital plan. We know what we're spending every year. And have a great warranty. So
Is this a new,
yes,
is it replacing the truck?
we're not replacing the truck. We're keeping our old truck. At this point, we really do need a runner truck. We need 2 trucks. We've got that first truck in place with the crane down and the pump, and we're like, we need a part. So we really need the second vehicle to be on the move. And when it snows, we have 11 pump stations to plow and the facility. So it's hard for one truck to kind of keep up with all that. So it'd be nice to have the 2.
And we're
How many-
budgeting for this.
We're budgeted $55,000 for the first year, just as a rough budget. I don't think we're gonna come anywhere near that, which is wonderful. It means we would have extra funds for pumps or capital fund or, you know, wherever the budget adjustments lie for next year at this time. I'd like to, if you don't see any changes on it, I really would like to just go out to bid and get something back for August and get this hammered out, done, and move on so we can.
How many miles on the old truck?
Oh boy, you know, I don't know off the top of my head, Nelson, I didn't write it.
How many years you had?
10. We got 10 years. And you know, a lot of it's the concern about, you know, the crane is 10 years old, we use it once a week. This crane is brand new, it has all the safety specs on it. We're gonna be in a lot more confined spaces, we're gonna be lowering Jeff down on the crane. It has to do with the safety aspect as well as what's best for the users, you know, short-term and long-term, and it's a planned expense. So we're not buying something and then say, oh gee, sorry, we need $5,000 for a transmission and we're ready next year.
Well, my concern isn't with the new one.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is you're talking about trying to use 2.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is with the old one, what shape it's in, how many miles.
It's in very good shape.
Trainee,
It's in
engine,
very-
and stuff like that. Are you gonna get another couple of years out of that, or is it gonna be a 6 months truck?
I would think that we're gonna get another 5 to 10 years out of that, I would hope. We keep it in very, very, very
I was
good
gonna say,
shape.
you do regular maintenance all the time. on this stuff.
Absolutely. We wash it every time we use it to plow. We wash it when it comes in from rain and mud storms. I mean, it looks new, but for this point forward, it isn't new. It is 10 years old. We need a new made vehicle that's trustworthy, cost-effective, and safe.
And this is a service truck too, if you notice, this has compartments, storage for tools,
You got it.
parts.
You got it. So we're not climbing in and out of the back of the truck, which is what we're doing now.
Safety
We're all
law.
10 years older, so that's a little.
I moved that it goes out to
I
the
second it.
specified.
And I'll write a ditty up for you for the paper, Linda, to put in.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll say, I don't mind you getting a new truck. I was pretty upset, almost $60,000.
Yeah, no.
That was ridiculous.
It was just we had to budget something.
We don't need
you know.
another bricklayer truck. We already got one of them on the road.
I think we're gonna do well with the pricing.
I think so.
We're gonna come in
That
well.
sounded a lot better. I looked them up on NADA, and they had, well, the expensive one was Chevrolet, Dodges and Fords. They were around 33.
Yeah.
And that's not with any bid or nothing. That's just NADA
Great.
telling me what it is.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, I don't think the
Ford
brand-
and Toyota?
We're gonna bid.
Just-
We're
We'll
just-
make it
send them
done.
out to the local dealerships and have them come back with a price for the whole package. I'm going to include the photo, and I'm going to include the number to the steel company, so that they can, each dealership will have the opportunity to have the same opportunity to contact the same company.
What's the manufacturer of the one you're getting now?
It would be nice,
Chevy.
but it would be nice to have more than, lately, the town, we've been talking, we got, a bid.
107?
You know what I'm saying? And
We couldn't get
I'm
any,
saying
the
that
last truck, we didn't,
Yeah.
our closest bid was Middlebury, and then was Boston. Nobody bid local whatsoever.
so-
Well, Carbone seemed pretty interested, so.
They did.
Well, no, all I'm just saying is just, bid it out and then,
Well, we do
I would
have
get a hold
all
of you.
put together.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, when you-
Yeah.
That's
And you
why
have to
I
hand
called.
it each dealership.
That's
and
why I
say,
told with the manager and ensured that that would
It'd be
happen,
nice to
and
have
gave him the
more.
number to steal, and said, I want you to call him, and you have to
That's
coordinate all this and deliver it.
So your bid is going out for a completed truck?
Yes.
Complete truck, ready to drive. Just
Complete
jump in
truck.
it.
You got it.
8-foot plow.
Okay, now, you're not getting a chassis and then you're sending it away. This is-
No, she priced it, and then, of course, the utility body, and then it's got the cranes.
But they're gonna work
But they're gonna
together.
put it together, and it'll be a completed package.
Okay, so whoever bids,
Which
whoever
is,
bids will be
that's a
bidding.
smart way to do it.
Very good.
Body has to be reinforced.
I know all about the
I
piece
don't-
of it.
I'm sure as long as it's going out for the bid for a complete truck, everything you need on it, that's the way you want it.
And I also did put in the specs, if you notice, at a minimum.
Yeah.
So if they
Well-
did bid at one time, that's their prerogative, as long as the price is right, but, didn't wanna limit them for throwing in stuff if we can, for a good price too.
No, I think it's a good move to update the truck we got, and, the only thing is, I would add that, if this, new truck is, purchased, you have to guarantee in 10 years it looks as good as the one we
I
got.
guarantee you. I guarantee
You know how to
How's
color
that?
It's a
it.
girl
Fair
truck.
enough?
You know how to color listed already.
It's not her job.
10 years.
Very good. Very good. Yep, good.
As long as it all matches.
Call it with the,
I mean, I don't want like a
Well,
white
that's an
front and a
advantage.
blue back.
It's an advantage, you may have to be able to get one off the lot.
I heard her
Linda,
said, wait,
did you
how
roll
long
that?
it doesn't
I'm not sure.
That's why the price is good.
Made the motion.
They did that.
Made a motion to put it out to bid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those in favor say
Yeah.
aye.
Yeah, okay, very good. How to get that out.
But we were just discussing whether,
Yeah.
I don't want the piecemeal stuff.
No, I think that's great. No, I think
Then
you're
the
right.
dealer is responsible.
That's
You
right.
don't go chase Stahl or go chase somebody
Yeah, you don't have
else.
somebody pointing a finger what they do.
Let him deal with it.
You won't have it together for a year.
I could put white in the specs. It's like,
I bought them
Look,
both
they're gonna
ways,
make it.
so I know the difference.
they got me all paranoid.
Very good.
One a yellow back and a
Well,
white
I
truck.
didn't know if you knew that, there was no color.
I mean, if you put white, but that might limit the trucks that were.
Well, you can write a preferred color, doesn't mean it's gonna be
Yeah.
a color.
Or maybe just say the color of the cab and chassis and utility bed must match.
Of course, yes.
That might work,
Well,
because that way
I think if you
it
have a
covers.
preferred color, or pretty well, or an option for a couple of different colors, that's fine too.
I just want it to match, really.
You know.
I say prefer, your
I don't-
preferred
I don't need people
colors.
to laugh, oh, look at that, look at that thing.
Look at
It's
that
got a
cam-
bumblebee back and a bright red
Got
front.
camel on it. You put camel on it, so when you're out there working in the woods, nobody sees it.
I think that's the opposite of what I want to do. Okay, so, next, Mr. Chairman? The last thing on the list?
Year-end budget adjustment.
Yeah.
The last thing on the list.
And Ellen and I have been working on those, and we do it every year, and it looks pretty much the same every year, but it really does help us for the next year. These adjustments all carry over into the next year's budget planning. So that's where they come into play. The line amounts reduced equals the amounts increased. This doesn't affect the bottom line of the budget. It doesn't affect the user's costs or charges. It's just an in-house, basically, cleanup that the professional auditors require us to do every year. So Ellen has reviewed them all, and has agreed they look good. So I'm just looking for,
Well, before we do that,
oh, yeah,
I'm looking here, and I'm assuming that, like we did everywhere else, a lot of this looks to be fuel costs.
yeah, and not, instead of being moving to, that's a moving from. We did great on fuel, we did great on chemicals, we did great on electricity.
I say we had such a good winter.
Yeah, we had a good one.
Yeah.
I even was able to leave some money in contingency just in case something happens this last week that I
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
possibly foresee. And the most exciting thing, I think, is if you go to the bottom where we move funds to, capital reserve fund, I got to increase it this year
Yeah. which
from
is good.
4,900 to 11,560. I actually got to put an additional 6,660, I don't know if that's a great number, but extra into the capital fund this year, which that's pretty exciting. That's the first time we've ever been
Yeah,
able to
actually.
do that.
Yes, very good.
Did very well in the budget this year.
Looks good.
I
So we want to
move,
work forward, huh?
Absolutely.
I move that we make the
So
budget adjustments
They
as
can operate. Go on.
Second.
That's the main motion.
I made a motion to go ahead and approve the adjustments.
Any second?
I
Any
did.
second? All
Yes, I
those in
did.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, and that does it for me. Anyone has any other business or?
I move that we adjourn.
Second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much for doing